Obscure Jackal, and welcome back to Winds of Change. Today we'll be entering Mazeo and finally meeting up with Damek. As always, if you enjoy, please leave a like, it really helps a lot, and subscribe if you haven't to keep up with everything happening in Alestia. And catch me live Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and every other Saturday over on Twitch. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, let's take a look here.
Wow, Mazeo looks so big, even from this far away. It's easily 5 times bigger than Valenorth.
Try for 10, little one. Just stick by my side and you won't get lost. I don't feel like running around town trying to find you.
Again, I'm not little. And trust me, I'll never get lost. I have a pretty good sense of direction.
Says the guy who got lost on his way home last week.
Valessa, it was dark! You'd have done the same thing in my situation.
Not true. I was home a few hours before you. Just take Ulrich up on his offer, Fortum. He's being nice. Who knows what the pirates would do to you if they found you alone?
Okay, and now you're scaring me.
Dorks. Alright. Heading over to the main gate. A few hours later, we finally arrive at the gates of Mazeo. There's nobody in sight, save for one lonely gate guard. He stands there, kicking his foot back and forth. Slow day?
Oh, great! It's Carmen!
Who?
Basically, the one gate guard I'm comfortable with. Leave this one to me. We'll be in Mazeo before you know it.
He smirks and starts striding toward Carmen. But before he can get too far, Ulrich grabs him by the shoulder. Holding him in place, Pro protests by squirming and trying to break free.
Hey! Let go! We don't have much time to waste!
There's another way.
Ulrich glances over at Valessa, Fortum, and I. I'm not sure what he meant by another way. Was there something we could do here?
Oh, come on! I had a whole routine worked out, Ulrich. Mine will work for sure. With them, it's a risk.
I just want to see how they handle this. Diplomacy will be really important moving forward. Shouldn't we let them get some practice?
I have enough of their cryptic conversation and step forward. Asking them what they meant, I politely request an explanation. If there was something they needed to say, there was no point in hiding it.
The new Elder of Valenorth.
Yeah.
He smiles and keeps his gaze set on all three of us. I'm starting to get an idea of what they're talking about.
Fortum, come here.
He looks a bit startled at the sudden demand, but slowly steps forward. I can sense his apprehension at being put on the spot. I know that feeling.
What's up?
This is your first time coming to Mazeo, right? The relationship between both of our nations is important. How we handle this situation could have a big impact.
Really? What do you mean?
Pro wants to lie his way in. That's what he does best. Not that it's a bad thing, of course, it usually works wonders. But at the end of the day, you are the Elder of Valenorth. If you prefer, you can try talking to Carmen. See if you can reason with him and get our entry granted. Your role as the Elder can't stay hidden forever. What would the people think if someone like you was accomplice to deceit? Word has its way of traveling around. It could find its way back to you. Aside from the rebellion, you have to make an impact on Mazeo's people. The question is, what kind of impact should that be?
Whoa, this is way more complicated than I thought.
Everything will be complicated now, Fortum. Don't do anything lightly from this point forward.
Ulrich made a very good point, and we had better give it some thought. Everything we did from now on would affect the relationship between our nations. We were no longer just focused on the rebellion, but Mazeo-Valenorth relations. It seems that Milos' resignation left a lot more responsibility on our laps. I shrug and turn toward Valessa and Fortum. We start to discuss the matter.
What should we do?
Well, new Elder, I think it's time to see what you can do. I stop and think, but come to a conclusion that I believe is the best. We shouldn't hide our identities, and we should stick to diplomacy. It's better than setting something up that's bound to backfire on us. I turn to Fortum and give him a nod. I guess this would be his first political move as elder. We just had to hope that Carmen was willing to play ball. He takes slow, nervous steps toward him until Carmen takes notice. When he does, Fortum stops in his tracks, his ears perking straight up.
Entry permit, please.
Wait, what?
You want to get into Mazeo, right?
Yes, sir.
Then I need to see an entry permit. I can't just let anybody inside.
Oh yeah? Not even the Elder of Valinor?
That is not the way to say that, Fortum.
Why, is that you?
Yeah.
Nice try. That's a pretty common excuse today. In fact, I've turned down 3 elders already.
But I'm not lying.
And I'm sure they weren't either. But I can't let you through without a permit. The occupation made us crack down on visitors.
But please! Our business is urgent. If you just let us in, I'll get someone to confirm.
Nice try. You just leave me hanging. Everyone else does. Either present some papers or stop wasting my time.
Seriously, come on!
I can tell that Fortum is getting annoyed. I've never seen him like this. As if to offer assistance, Ulrich steps forward, clearing his throat. Perfect timing, too, as Fortum was about to lose his temper.
I apologize on behalf of the Elder. This is his first time traveling. We're not up to any funny business, I assure you. It's an urgent meeting. The national security of Mazeo and Valinor are both compromised.
Is that so?
Do you have a family, Carmen?
Yeah.
Blow,
I do.
blow.
I promise that we're not lying. The Triumvirate is on the move to occupy Valinor. But in order to do so, they'll have to pass through Mazeo. Your family could be in danger. The attack is imminent. All we ask is that you let us through so we can go about our business. Our matters in Mazeo concern the safety of almost every Celestian. If you don't let us through, a lot of innocent people will die. And trust me, we will make it known that you held us back. Do you really want to go down in history like that, Carmen?
Rude.
Would you rather go down in history as a hero? The man that allowed us to carry out our mission.
How do I know I can trust you?
You don't. I'm asking you to take a leap of faith. Is it really worth gambling with the lives of your family?
Carmen gulps audibly and shuffles in place.
I think I remember you.
I would be surprised if you didn't. I mean, Ulrich is pretty unique. Pro, too.
Yeah, I just left for Valinor yesterday morning. I'm not an outsider. Mazeo is my home. Please, let me and my friends protect it.
And you promise not to tell anybody?
I promise. But you should also abandon your post. They'll need to pass right through these gates. Your life is worth more than this job. Please, get to safety with your family. Do you really think I'm making this up?
I don't know.
If I just wanted entry, I wouldn't care about you. But this is more than that. I want to help you too. I'll tell Grizz right away so you don't get in trouble.
Alright, I trust you.
Carmen steps to the side and stops blocking the gate.
Just don't make me regret this.
You never will.
Ulrich steps back, smiling as he turns to us. It seems Fortum couldn't accomplish this task on his own. But his help was much appreciated, as we couldn't have done this otherwise.
Wow, Ulrich. Thanks. I was totally drawing blanks. Maybe I'm not cut out for that stuff.
That's preposterous, Fortum. I didn't expect you to succeed. It was your first time. You handled yourself well, and you're gaining experience.
He walks away, and Pro approaches the group.
That was pretty amazing. I still think my idea was better, though. I had a whole script in my head and everything.
Fortum shrugs and turns to face the gate. At least his first act as elder would be an open and honest one. We couldn't say the same thing if we were to align ourselves with Pro.
So, shall we?
He motions to the gate, which is now free for us to enter. After everything we've been through, we were finally here. It was time to get this started and meet Damek.
Hey, Pro.
What's up?
That can't be your real name.
Why not?
I mean, it's a little odd.
And Valessa isn't?
You have a point.
But since you asked, it isn't my real name. The truth is, I don't actually know my real name.
How do you manage that?
I'd rather not talk about it, if it's all the same to you. Pro is just something the orphans called me when I was younger. I showed a knack for picking up skills with ease.
So you're a pro.
Something like that. Any idea why your parents chose Valessa?
No idea, actually. I never thought to question it, but yours kinda stuck out like a sore thumb.
I'll take that as a compliment. Hey, there's something else in my mind, actually.
Oh yeah? What's that?
What's up with the name Fortem? Like, how is that one even possible?
I've always wondered that.
It's bugging me, and I've only known him for a day. It must bother you so much. You've known him forever.
Yeah, but you're good at getting info, right?
That's what I've been told.
Maybe we can work together to find this out. I want to know just what Fortem really means.
Okay, let's do it. Pro and Valessa, on the case.
Dorks. Hey, let's see what Damek's doing right before we meet him. Damek's advisor approached him with a sense of urgency. Having received a summons from Lilith, it was finally time. The future of Mazeo and the rebellion would be decided.
Damek, may I speak with you?
Oh, of course. Is everything okay?
I believe you've been waiting for this.
And his name is Spice. He hands Damek the piece of paper in his grip. Soon after, he returns to scribbling in his ledger.
Secure a naval army? That's a lot bigger than our initial plans.
Is it an unwelcome change?
Spice stands waiting, ready to record Damek's response.
No, not at all. We were just planning to steal the Triumvirate ships. While they were busy with Valinor, they'd be unmanned. But this... it could grow our forces exponentially. Especially if the pirates lend us their army.
Not for free, of course. They'll probably rob Grizz blind in exchange. I recommend not offering them any of our resources. We barely have enough food for our own men. And weapons for that matter. We need more of those. Do you think you could spin negotiations in our favor?
Of course I can. I'm nothing if not a good negotiator. It seems like everything is in our favor.
This final clause, however.
The one requesting the Sirius's presence? Pay it no mind, they should be arriving here shortly. In fact, I'll go meet them in the town square right away.
Is their Exodus training regiment finalized? Your schedule should be able to accommodate changes. Your plan is still slow exposure to develop a tolerance, yes?
Yeah, that's the best way to do it. I could only handle it for a mere moment. But I feel stronger, like I could handle more. Of course I'm not going to touch it again. I'm assuming the same rules apply to the CRS. With controlled exposure, they could wield it longer and longer. Long enough to aid our final assault on Bolteus.
Fancy.
Wow, there's so many people in there. And it sounds super noisy. Is it always like that?
Pretty much. But why are we standing here talking about it? You realize we can walk right in and see it, right?
Oh, right. Guess I was just waiting on the Cirrus.
That's me holding everyone up. Hey, head to the town square. As we take our first steps into Mazeo, we all pause and examine the surroundings. It's a crowded mess, with people running in every conceivable direction. Market stalls are set up wherever there's room, with all sorts of wares.
Wait, I think I see them.
Fortum immediately tries running ahead, enthralled by something he sees. But before he can get very far, Ulrich grabs him from behind and stops him. With a tight grip on Fortum's collar, it's clear he's not going anywhere.
Hey, what gives?
You can't just run off into a crowd like that, Fortin. You will get lost, and I don't have the time to find you. Stay close to us. We will get over there eventually.
Alright.
His ears droop down and he starts to mope around. But before he gets too sad, Ulrich reaches into his pockets. Pulling out some coin, he gives it to Fortum with a smile.
Here's some money to spend on whatever you want, but like I said, just make sure you stick close to us. This isn't the kind of place you want to be alone in.
Wow, thanks, Ulrich. I'm gonna look for some apples then. Can you point them out for me so I don't get lost?
Yeah, they should be over there.
Pointing to a nearby market stall, Fortum runs off, jubilant. Free money from Ulrich? He must have taken a liking to Fortum. Either that, or he figured somebody needed to keep him in line.
Well, I guess we should keep an eye out for Damek. Knowing him, he's already here waiting for us. Do you see him anywhere, Pro?
There's too many people. Give me a few minutes. I'll find him.
A few moments later, Fortum returns. He's holding an apple, his eyes glistening with happiness.
Look, I finally got what I wanted. It was so expensive, though. I only had enough for one. Guess I'll have to make it last as long as possible, huh?
Only one? You were conned, Fortune. I should have followed you after all.
Not surprising.
Conned?
Yeah, taken advantage of. The locals know a tourist when they see one. They raise the prices because you don't know any better.
Mean.
Sorry, it's my fault. For a moment I put too much faith in the people. At least now you know all of my warnings were true.
Ulrich lets out a large sigh and continues scouting the surroundings. He takes a few steps in different directions as if that helped his search. But Valessa calls out to us shortly after, pointing back towards the gate.
Is that him?
A man that was standing there starts to laugh and approach us. He was standing with his back against the gate, out of sight. It was a perfect hiding spot, since we'd be looking ahead.
I just wanted to see if you'd noticed me, actually. You've got a good eye on you. Valessa, right?
Yeah, Valinor Scribe. Pleased to meet you, Damek.
And I'm Fortame, the Elder. We've heard a lot about you, actually.
All nonsense, I'm sure.
After smiling at Valessa and Fortum, he approaches me.
And you must be the seeress. It feels like I've been waiting forever to meet you. Honestly, the last little while has been so hectic.
He blushes, and I can tell he's extremely nervous. It's odd, because he greeted Valessa and Fortum with ease. It humbles me to see a man of such importance treat me this way.
I almost can't believe this is happening. It's an honor to meet you, seeress. It truly is.
Alright. Honor's all mine.
And you're just as polite as I imagined. There's no need to be so formal. You're among friends.
I reach out to shake his hand, but he immediately pulls back. With a nervous laugh, he rubs the back of his head. Did I do something wrong? He seemed excited to meet me, so I assumed a handshake was in order.
Anyway, shall we get going? We have quite a busy day ahead of us.
He starts walking, expecting us to follow. But as soon as he gets to Pro, he stops in his tracks.
Oh, just one more thing before we move along. You'll be on cleaning duty for the next month, Pro.
What? What did I do?
It's more about what you didn't do, and the answer to that is everything. I ended up sending Ulrich to pick up your slack. We can't afford to waste time anymore. I'm sure you had your reasons, but...
Yeah, and they were really good reasons. I couldn't just march into Valinor with a blade. I need to have some...
Really, Pro, you know you can't just throw excuses at me. I know how this stuff works. You were lazy.
He lets out a loud sigh while Pro shuffles in place, ashamed.
Ugh, I suppose it's my fault in the first place. I should have known better than to send you there. With a tavern in the way, your priorities would be clear.
After their spat, Damek turns to face me with a smile. Even when he was scolding, it was polite. That's interesting. I can start to see why people would like to follow him.
Anyway, we have some business with the mayor. Let's head to his house. I'll explain there. After that, I'll give you a tour of our HQ.
Plans with Grizz. Is it about the pirates?
I said I'd explain when we get there, Ulrich. We can't talk about this kind of stuff out in the open. Finish up whatever business you have, and we'll get going.
With that said, I guess it was time to head to the mayor's house. I knew nothing about Mazeo, so I didn't know if this was a detour or not. But either way, my training with the Blade of Exodus would surely begin today. I look at Valessa and Fortum, and we nod at one another. I guess I'd finish up any business here, then follow Damek. My legs are tired, but it feels like our trek was almost over. Alright. Morale may rise and fall over the course of the game. Your army and their welfare will be affected by your choices. Ensure a high morale, or your forces may not survive the coming war. Oh dear. Another heart-to-heart with Fortum. I notice Fortum standing at one of the market stalls, enthralled. I take a few steps forward to see what he's looking at, and nobody follows me. It seems they're willing to give us some time alone now that we're in Mazeo.
Hey, Cirrus, check this out.
He points to a bunch of strange metal objects attached to ropes. If I could describe them as anything, it would be metallic claws. I have no idea what they are, however, or why he's so taken to them.
You know, when I climb trees, it's hard to get a grip. But with these, I can just stab them into the tree and hold on. I didn't know these existed. It would make things so much easier.
He shuffles in place, thinking to
You
himself.
don't think that would hurt the trees, do you?
Probably not.
Awesome! That's what I thought. I'll have to make money somehow, and save up. This will make climbing the Grand Tree a lot easier.
He leans a bit closer to the market stall, looking for a price.
And of course, there's no price on them. Probably so they can scam people too. I'll have to get Ulrich to figure this out.
He smiles and laughs softly, before turning to face me.
You know, these markets are pretty cool. What do you think about them, Cirrus?
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Just a bit crowded, though. And I did want to have some private time. Hey, follow me. I have an idea, Cirrus.
He grabs an apple out of his pocket and gives me a sly smirk. It's the one Ulrich bought for him. He must not have eaten it yet. As he runs away, I follow him, and we end up in a nearby back alley.
See? Much better. I can actually hear myself think now. Let's grab a seat and relax. We deserve it.
He motions to the ground. It didn't seem comfortable, but it would do. I sit down and rest my back against the wall. He promptly sits down beside me. Holding out the apple, he inspects it, almost like he's a bit hesitant to eat it.
I wonder if it'll taste like I remember. It's only been around 20 years after all. Hey, let's share it. You should try some too.
He stares directly at the apple, watching it glisten in the sunlight.
You know, I'm kind of scared to eat it. I'm worried it might not live up to my memories. Things don't usually work out that way. Why should this?
He shrugs and then looks up at me.
Here goes nothing?
He raises it up to his mouth and takes a large bite. Shaking with excitement, juices drip down his chin. I can tell that it's just as good as he remembers.
Wow. You have got to try this, Cirrus.
That must be a really good friggin' apple. He holds it up, offering it to me, his hands practically shaking. I grab it from him and inspect it. It's incredibly soft and juicy. They must have grown this differently in order to make it special. but I wonder why the Triumvirate would ban this from trade. It seems harmless, and I can't remember the last time Fortum was so happy. I take a bite with a loud crunch and start chewing. The sweetness is overwhelming. I always doubted how good this apple would be. Fortum really talked it up. There was always a worry in the back of my mind that it wasn't really that good. However, after finally tasting it, I know I was unequivocally wrong. It was amazing.
See? I told you! I can't believe I'm eating this again. I just wish my parents could be here.
I hand him back the apple and we slowly take turns eating it. Minutes later, only the tiny core remains. We really went to town on it. Placing it down by his side, Fortrum rests against the wall, sighing.
Thanks for sharing that with me, Cirrus. Actually, thanks for hanging out with me at all. I know there's so much to do. I'm really honored.
He smiles before standing back up. I do so as well. There was no point in this quest if I couldn't have fun along the way. Our bond could flourish even during war. That was an incredible friendship.
Back to business, I guess? But mark my words, I'm gonna get that climbing gear. And a second set, too. I'll make an apprentice out of you yet.
He smirks and runs back into the markets. I follow after him and we regroup with everyone else. That was a nice distraction, but it was time to get things back on track.
Hey.
Damek! What's up with the rebellion?
Well, almost everything, I'd assume. I was one of the founding members with Salus. I guess they like that term more than child soldier.
Oh.
When the Triumvirate took over Mazeo, they had one goal. Dig deep underground and find the true spirit idol of this nation. They made the honor guard do this, those empty suits of armor. But while they dug, they also created a sort of barracks down there. I'm not sure why, because the honor guard couldn't make use of it. But I'm assuming it was for when real people came for inspections. Either way, they basically turned it into a paradise. Beds, weapons, training rooms, a war table, everything. When I first saw it, I knew I had to win it for the rebellion. Thankfully, Grizz had been turning to our side. It wasn't hard to woo over the mayor and get the deed. His only condition was that he got access to the idol first. I'm not sure what he wants to do with it, but he can't really do anything if I'm honest. Not without you or the Blade of Exodus.
That's fair.
Salus? Well, he was a father figure to a lot of us. That's probably why his sacrifice hit us all so hard. You do remember that he was the Elder of Valinor, right?
Of course.
It's not like he took on a secret double life. He was still the same. If anything, at least now you have an explanation for his trips. He was helping out the rebellion and Valinor. That's a tall order.
Fair enough. Anything about the
We don't know
Triumvirate?
too much about them, to be honest. They're shrouded in mystery and only rule from their chambers. We've tried to coax them out, but so far nothing has worked.
Well, we can get more into it later. But that's going to do it for this one. Remember, if you enjoyed, drop a like, let me know what you think, and make sure you subscribe if you haven't to keep up with everything I'm doing. And catch me live on Twitch Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and every other Saturday. But for now, this is the Obscure Jackal, signing out.